Africa is crying. Africa is crying. From the deserts of the north to the forests of the west, across the savannas of the east, through the rain-soaked lands of the center. Down to the golden plains of the south, Africa is crying. Not for rain, no. Not for gold, but for her return. The return of her warriors, her dreamers, her founding fathers, the architects of freedom, who left us with vision, yet unfinished work. And now, from the deepest valleys of darkness, the ancestors called and the people cried. The founding father has returned. Kinago!
That understanding that this is the seed of the universe, like you say, and then understanding that if you're African, understand you're African, that this is where your home is. So how do you start? And come with an open mind, right? Come kind of peeling off your Americanisms and coming and understand that you're a part of this culture. This is your family. This is your brothers and sisters. That I am my ancestor. I did return, and so.
And we have discussed at management at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that we are going to have a special dispensation for Africans in the diaspora so that you will not have to make the same payments as others will make.
Ladies and gentlemen, a resounding round of applause. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Can I address everyone as a colleague and a friend? Is that okay? President Mahama's role as the African Union's champion for reparations transcends the symbolic. It is a deliberate commitment to advancing the dignity, memory, and material claims of Africans and peoples of African descent worldwide. Ghana intends to remain a serious home for that work.
Hello guys, it's your girl Mina, and today let me take you to one of the biggest global summits happening right here inside Ghana, the Diaspora Summit 2025. The summit, which is set to connect the global Ghanaian and the Pan-African leaders to gain insights from inspirational speakers and as well as explore other investment opportunities right here in Ghana, West Africa, and Africa at large. And so basically on today's edition, come let us go interact with our sisters and brothers from the diaspora whilst having interesting conversations and connecting with each other, vibing as we always do it. Let's go!
So I didn't see where they were sitting because they got their food and so on. Hello. Hello. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hi,
I'm Mina.
I'm Nina.
Please, may I know your name?
My name is Dr. Sharon Bethia.
Okay, and
I'm Dr.
oh wow, that's beautiful. Basically, please, where are you from though? Like, do you have any African lineage, or you just basically?
I'm pretty sure I do. I'm sure I was.
So you don't know?
I'm sure. I mean, I know the little I know from this coast. So Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, just knowing my lineage from being stole from here.
Ah, I'm just asking because I just want to know why you chose to be in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. So actually, I'm here in particular because I'm with Sankofa Journey. So it's a group of people who come to actually do culture, talk about spirituality, and so part of our trip is that we came to this summit. But in general, I actually come to Ghana a lot. I bring students here every year.
Wow.
Yeah, every year for 2 weeks we come and I'm a professor at Northeast Illinois University.
Oh wow, that's
and I
beautiful.
run the African American Studies program.
Oh wow.
So I bring students here, and we usually go here, Togo, Benin, learning all about culture, resistance, how we resisted.
Wow.
So I've been coming here for a while.
Wow, they are Ghanaian. We are accepting you as Ghanaian. But so far, since in Ghana, how has the experience been? Like,
I love Ghana. I mean, I think the people are amazing. I think the food is amazing. The music, culture, and I've now come so long it feels like home. So I love mostly everything about it. The architecture, the art. Oh, the art is amazing. And so yes, I love coming to Ghana. I'll always keep coming to Ghana, and I've been coming for a long time.
All right, that's beautiful. But if there's anybody watching, the aspirant watching that hasn't been to Ghana before, what is the message you have for that person? Somebody that is watching that hasn't been in Ghana before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's definitely a place you want to come visit. If you're in the diaspora, understanding that this is home, that understanding that this is the seat of the universe, like you say, and then understanding that if you're African, understanding you're African, that this is where your home is. So how do you start? And come with an open mind, right? Come kind of peeling off your Americanisms and coming and understand that you're a part of this culture. This is your family. This is your brothers and sisters. That I am my ancestor. I did return, and so absolutely come and visit Ghana and understand where you come from, how this is home.
All right, that's beautiful. But one question before I take a leave of you.
But not necessarily.
What?
Love Ghana.
You love Ghana.
Ghanaian food, but not necessarily.
I try.
All right.
I like Banco a little better.
All right. Nice meeting you all.
Okay.
Choco.
Okay.
Choco province. Choco province.
The famous blackest province you can
Yes.
imagine.
Yeah. So
You know who
most
won?
likely we are
Picture.
very connected with Ghana because
There's a famous singer who's from there, right? Is there a famous singer from there?
oh sí, la negra grande de Colombia.
Who was that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it. You know, I don't have my phone right now. I left it at home, but let me give you my number. I know, but no. Not her phone, my other guy's phone. Oh my God! That was our HBO guy. That was our. Oh my God! How are you? We'll talk. We look forward to Yeah. You be good. You got me, sis. We on, because I was sitting there like this, like, what is really going on?
People been here, who've been listening.
Why you got your pulse on the day? You did? Okay. Shine, baby, shine.
It is my great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce a respected entrepreneur, a cultural ambassador, and one of the most influential champions of Diaspora Africa engagement. This individual has to building meaningful bridges between Africa and its global diaspora, particularly through culture, enterprise, and creative industries. Indeed, her leadership has helped position diaspora participation not as a symbolic engagement, but as a strategic force for national development. It gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to bring to the stage the moderator for this session, a universally acclaimed individual, and somebody I like to call a sister, Build Africa, Lady Vymton Vymtunz, OBE. Vymton, if you may allow me, I will introduce your panelists on your behalf. I feel like Vymton needs a lot around the applause. I mean, if you didn't hear about it, she organized Bridgetown, no, Georgetown is Grenada, Bridgetown, Barbados. Thank you so much, Vymton, for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, the panelists on this session are Senior Planning Analyst of NDPC, Mr. Michael P.C. Watty. Mr. Watty, where are you? Please join us. We are also joined by another big sister of mine, a member of British Parliament, Labour Party Park and Brixton Hall, Honorable Bell Rogero Addy. Please also warmly welcome the Vice President of African American Association of Ghana, Mr. Morris Chisholm. Dr. Joseph Onrakome is the Director, Infectious Disease Center for Ghana Health Service. Please warmly welcome him. And last definitely not the least on our panel, please warmly welcome Mr. Eric Kwame Akomenyi, Senior National Officer, International Organization for Migration, IOM. Vymton, I think you are ready to go. Over to you.
I hope you had a good lunch. Yes? Okay, fantastic. We are running behind, so we are going to be quick, but on this section of the panel, we're going to do a lot more question and answers. So anybody that has questions, I'm sure you've seen some of the profiles that are on. Get your questions ready. Okay, this is the best panel, by the way. Yes, I have great people on. This panel brings voices who are not only thinking about the future, but actually building it. And so thank you so much for being on the panel. So when you hear the title, The Role of the Diaspora in the National Development Agenda, what does that mean to you now?
I think for me, that means the diaspora partnering with brothers and sisters back home and moving things forward. You know, what has happened to us over years in terms of being separated, in terms of enslavement and colonialism has done a lot of pulling us apart, but not just that, but also the deliberate underdevelopment of our nations. And I think the diaspora certainly have a role.
How do you see trade amongst the diaspora? What advantage can they do in Ghana?
Well, I think at the moment, we're seeing a situation where countries like my own, the UK, are very, very keen to trade with the continent, but they are finding that they are having to change tack. We've even got now in the UK a new approach to Africa, one that they've said is no longer going to be paternalistic, because I think they're realising that the world is changing. And this whole concept of extraction that we had before, we would just take all, surprisingly
better with the diaspora when it comes to national development.
I think that when we talk about the diaspora, that's a very broad term, and I don't think that we really define that. the African American diaspora is coming back home. So we're coming back home, and that's a mission. That's what's inside of our hearts. So we're coming to build our home. We're already doing it. AAA members live here, and others are coming home. They're buying homes, they're building homes. We're sponsoring schools, we're sponsoring students. So I think it's the goal to contribute to the growth of Ghana directly. And those things are already being done.
You know, a lot of the times we see the UK, according to chat, is about 20 million. So we see a lot of people going. When they go, they seem to adapt. But when the diasporans are coming here, it's a bit difficult for them to adapt. What do you think are some of the reasons? Because for us to build that national development, we need to be able to fit in.
I think that's a great question. Another level of Ghana we kick it with, but I'm a Ghanaian American as well, so I'm half Ghanaian. And now you start talking about the Monprogies and getting to the neighborhoods and the justice. And African Americans want to connect with the people. We want to connect with the people. We've already done that. I'm looking at Brother Rabbi Cohen, how are you, Ambassador Erica Bennett? Those who led us into the community. So anywhere we go, which I challenge the government of Ghana to do, quantify our impact. There are so many individuals. Patricia Wilkins, who runs Inshot. She runs a 3-story STEM school that's sponsored by Google. She's been doing this for over 15 years. I think about a young sister named Patrice Robinson with Electric Love, who has a mentorship program for girls in the Baltimore. Me, myself, I have a STEM program in my program that I sponsor for myself at a basic school. So these impacts are done, and I think we need to push individuals more into the community. And I think sometimes the marketing is skewed. You come.
Dr. Joseph, I know a lot of diasporans that have come, build hospitals, etc. But they're 97%.
Thank you very much. So you're looking at first the raw materials. Then you also have to look at the skill set. You just cannot come in, no skill set, no raw materials, then you should be producing medicines. It doesn't work that way. When it comes to science, you need to invest into something that has already been done. Like you said, you come, you stay, then you have a plan, a long-term sustainable plan. Else what you're going to do is ad hoc measures. You come in, set up a factory, in 2 years the factory is down. So I think the first somebody like me in the health sector, we are calling for help. But times when the helper comes in, makes you feel that you are inferior and that is superior. And I can tell you, as a practitioner here, I see myself equal to the one practicing in the West. My colleagues have moved to the West. So when they come home, and then they want you to feel as if you're practicing, sorry to say, in a lower setting, I've come in with more superior skills. Hey, you're not getting me. So I believe that yes, we are ready, but when we are returning, we need to sit down and have a discussion. One of the key things I know, people complain a lot. When we come and want to help, registration
for them to come back, and that's how China was built. The same with Singapore. And so, I don't know, I feel like we've been calling the diaspora for a while now. The data that you're speaking about, how are you going to start collecting that data? What are you going to do?
So we need a very strong collaboration between the Diaspora Office and the Presidency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the National Development Planning Commission. And this will just be a portal that we can create. I know the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has some database of some diasporas, but we need to scale it up. And then the Planning Commission can always connect to that database, that anything we do in the country, you asked about pharmaceuticals. If it's about pharmaceuticals, even to the point of
basically do it in terms of working with the partners within the government to make sure we provide safe access for the diaspora to continue to contribute to our national development.
Thank you. We're going to open the floor for questions. If you have any question, please put your hand up. Okay. I see Mummy, I see, where's the, okay. Do we have the mic?
Make our information available online. I'm not sure if we have enough information online. So I want to ask how often, maybe I'll direct it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, how often do we update our systems to make available information? And also not to them alone, but generally, I think we should make information available to the diasporans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So each year there's what we call the annual progress report for Ghana, and we take data from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as other ministries, departments, and agencies, and we write that report. And that report is always put online. If you go to the National Development Commission's website right now, you will see that report there. And you see quite a chunk of things that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs did for last year. So we normally report for, it's an annual progress report, so obviously this year has to end before we, so the one for last year is online, you can have it. Again, on the website for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have a lot of information there actually. And sometimes they give me the information. So do we have information? We have a lot of information online, except that if you need some specific information you don't get, you can always write to the ministry to furnish you with that kind of information.
Okay, next question.
Founder and Secretary Director of Civil Regional Foundation. My question has to do with in what ways can the diaspora community support the youth back home, especially those who have started initiative, maybe NGO or startup? How are they supporting them, moving beyond family remittances to home-owned investment that is going to sustain the environment in the long run? That is my question. Thank you very much.
That sounds like those from the diaspora are doing something for people here. It has to be collaborative. So as you would with any business, you invest in them because they deserve your investment and they're as good as anybody else.
On youth investment, I think before investment that we should provide a foundation for young Ghanaians to gain skills. I actually have my camera crew right here in Motherland Media. These young men had skills way before I met them, and they are awesome. But I'm just a small part. I'm talking about the African American diaspora that provides employment for many in the foundation. I think first you prove your skills before asking for investment, and then we can start there for a foundation. And I think all the diaspora is doing that. But I want to ask my own question, because this is getting a little bit off. Who is the diaspora? Who is the diaspora? This is broad. It's too broad. Are the African American diaspora looked at on the same level, no disrespect, as a Chinese diaspora and the Lebanese diaspora? Because are they considered diasporans too?
I didn't necessarily think they were. When I think of diaspora, and I may be wrong, we can add to conversation, I think of African Americans as diaspora, I think of people like myself as diaspora, Ghanaian, born in the UK, but with Ghanaian heritage, and then also Ghanaians born in Ghana who eventually at some stage in their life travel and live there. So those are the three groups that I think of as diaspora. And anybody from any other culture, I think of as migrants. Migrants.
I think the EU has clarified.
Yeah, not expatriates. There's something that the British in particular like to do when they go to certain places. Whereas they call people within their country that are not from their immigrants, they will call themselves expatriates. Immigrants are immigrants. There's no special terminology.
Yeah, I think just to also add to the question on youth investment and whatever, I think a critical component in terms of who the diaspora is the second and third generation diaspora. And these are diaspora who by virtue of parenting or a certain connection to Ghana would want to identify as diaspora. But then it's always difficult for them coming in and being well received. And so we need to be very intentional in tapping into that diaspora population. Some of them, their parents might have migrated in the early 1950s, the first wave of migration that took place. And then there are kids now of age and are struggling to identify themselves wherever they may be, but they want to connect to Ghana, and it's also difficult establishing that connection. And it will be very important we have a certain intentionality to really engage that group so we don't lose them. And they have a lot of innovation, they have a lot of energy, a lot of drive, and we need to understand them so we can really support them. One of the initiatives we're looking at is the Diaspora mentoring the diaspora. So looking at what success stories we have of the diaspora, so that could be a guide for the youth seeking to come in. And then they will know that it's not going to be a stroll in the park, it's not going to be a journey ride, but then I can share my lessons with you so you don't go through the pitfalls that I have. So I think the call should be out there, the challenge should be picked up, that we really need to be intentional with the diaspora, but most importantly, with the second and third generation
diaspora and the Ghanaian diaspora, which all have separate needs. Are we valued on the same level? Are the Chinese considered a diaspora? And are the Lebanese considered a diaspora? We need to understand the level of resources that we're bringing back. And I like a lot of policy and framework, and I'm building on the point that Rabbi Cohen, Ambassador Bento building upon is, but we're just asking how we engage. Because our diaspora, the African American diaspora, is much different. You have retirees. You have individuals who come here for business. You have African Americans who are married Ghanaian men and women, okay? You have those who work remotely. You have those who work for NGOs, those who work for corporations. You have those who are coming home. All of those people need individual services. They need to be adapted to, they need to be interacted to. And 524 citizenships were gave, and I celebrate Ghana. But after that, what happened? We need sustainability. We need sustainability, brother. And I heard you talking a lot about the Ghanaian diaspora. I'm Ghanaian American. I didn't get my citizenship. My father's from Jamestown. But the Ghanaian diaspora is not the African American diaspora. We're all brothers, but it's just a little bit different.
So how we engage with the different types of diaspora is important as well. Okay, I think Ambassador Bennett has a question.
Greetings. Thank you so much, Lady Dinta. That question that you asked, the diaspora, I had one of my aides look at the word diaspora. Diaspora refers to a group of people who originate from the same country, region, or ethnic background, but are living outside of their ancestral homeland, either by choice or due to circumstances such as migration, trade, conflict, education, or work. So that's the definition of diaspora. So when we're referring to diaspora, we should say African diaspora. So we know that's what we're talking about. And I just kind of want to my question is, Lady Delta, my question is for you. First of all, I want to ask the one who can talk from foreign affairs. There used to be a diaspora desk, and you had a person in foreign affairs that was dealing with the African diaspora. Does that still exist, number one? Number two, my comment and question, I'm getting ready to put Lady Dinta on spot. She's now our ambassador, and so I'm putting you on the spot. One of the things that I'd like to do, you see, I want you to consider doing training for that diaspora desk, and the diaspora agency will work with you on doing that training. Because that's the key. The key is to strengthen what we have outside. Now, question, does that desk still exist? Lady Dinta, one of the things you know who I am in terms of, I like tangible things coming out of this. And if coming out of this conference, we can say the diaspora desk is being trained by UBA and the diaspora embassy. So that's one of the things I want to put on the table.
Thank you. I think, so the ministry They do have a diaspora desk. They definitely do.
It's bigger than this. Yeah. So they have, I think the director, I've seen him around. So there's the Diaspora Affairs Bureau at the ministry. So it's even beyond this.
And I agree with you with the training. I think sometimes, we set up Uber Diaspora Network to help the diaspora transition and do business in Ghana. But what I find with the diaspora is that when they come, they don't want to pay for certain things. They feel like, even when it's buying land, we rather go and buy it not the right way, and then when you correct them, they come back, they're like, oh, I wish I had listened. But when you're out in the UK, you're out in the US, whatever price that they give you, you pay for that. But when you're back home, it's like you don't want to pay for some of the services that people are giving you. And then when it goes wrong, you come back. And so it's really important that we do the right thing, have the right mindset. I think it's a mindset for both of us, for the people in Ghana receiving and the people that are also coming back. Next question.
Yeah, I've introduced myself already. The question I have is, what I want to say is, the drugs, we make drugs in Ghana, and many of these drug peddlers, so to speak, are in different places. They have their own drug stores. They are in the car, buses, everywhere trying to sell. What is happening is, once again, a game of semantics. If they are Ghanaians, we call them herbal medicine. And if it's imported, we call it drug. That is why we have that clean statistics of 97% of drugs being imported. It is not only the issue of drugs that this differential statistics worries us. We have a lot of engineers in Kokope, Akosokai, magazine, etc. They fix cars, they make engines, everything, but they are not called engineers. Unless you go through our technical school system, who themselves, when they are customers, they take it to those or the roadside who actually do a better job. I have personally, and with my organization, been trying to talk to GES to change that, because unless we change that, we continue to belittle ourselves and make it look like black people, perhaps Ghanaians, are not performing, or we don't have enough skills. That is one thing. The last one is that the diaspora coming to help. Originally, this diaspora movement started with the idea that some of our people who were enslaved, who were deprived, denied justice and treated, etc., now have to embrace them back home. What is turning out to be now is that whenever they come, they tend to be richer than those who are actually back home working here. And so it's become like now everybody wants help from you. Our leaders here, we have the land go everything. So if they can connect roads to their farms, the rural areas, Ghanaians here can farm, so that when they come, they are just coming to partner us. It's not like we want something from them all the time. And by the way, the issue of land keeps coming. So I'd like to say that when I leave, after the conference, if you want land, even if you don't have money, you want to partner, or you want to buy, that one you can see me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
That has been established. Then again, why do you put your money somewhere, and your eyes does not follow where your money is going? And when your hands are bent, you blame everybody else as a Ghanaian. So the shortcut, when you are greedy, or you know shortcut, you bend your fingers. So I beg you, if you are buying land, you must do a search and be sure that the one selling the land for you own it. What they do to you as a husband, they also do it to us as Ghanaians. If you drop your guard, so please, everybody should have his guards on. When you are putting money somewhere, your eyes should follow where the money is going. Be involved in the management of it. So the issue about youth, if the youth have a business and you want money into it, but we're running out of time properly. So you don't get anybody.
Thank you so much. I think I'm going to go to the last which is Honourable His Excellency I know there's a lot of questions.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words. Just for those who haven't heard me from yesterday, I want to introduce myself again because of the issues that are being raised as former Ghana's ambassador to the United States during the Clinton administration 30 years ago. And now the President's special envoy on foreign reparations here in Ghana. 3 points to address some of the issues that have been raised. One, for those in the diaspora, whether new diaspora, old diaspora, whatever generation that belongs, who want to come back and do business, unless you have yourself $100,000, $500 million, that is really your own money that you can do in doing business, I recommend that you find partners. Find your own partners, preferably in the United States, before you even come to for Ghanaian partners, so that you have the capital that can really do what for your business. Part of the challenge we have both in Ghana and the diaspora is the difficulty of people trusting each other and doing business together. The stock exchanges that we all look up to in the US, in the UK, wherever, are millions of shareholders of whether it is NVIDIA, whether it is General Electric or General Motors, it's millions of shareholders, not just 3, 4 people. But we have difficulty in aggregating our small capitals together in Africa as well as in the diaspora. Let's try to consolidate ourselves a little bit more, then we can take it more seriously. So I'm speaking now as the Foreign Minister of Trade and Industry of Ghana, when people come to do business, not just diasporans, and I look at their business and I ask about their shareholding, because it's all a big structure. That will not go too far. So that's the first suggestion.
Thank you so much. So I'll go back to my panelists to kind of round up on your thoughts.
Thank you very much. I'd like to trade in the presidency and the National Democratic Commission. Eric, thank you. You mentioned NIA. That's also a very important part that we must look at. I think going forward, diasporans and government institutions, we need to really collaborate very well. I know diasporans have associations and all that, and it's a good point to start from. The identifiable groups and all that, we'll be able to do a lot. And there are common areas that we can always collaborate on. One of the things that Ghana does is that we integrate our international and global commitments in our national joint planning system. So when you hear about the Sustainable Development Goals, Africa Agenda 2063, and what we implement all of it in our national systems. So any of you who work with the Sustainable Development Goals or work in the space of the Africa Agenda 2063, it's a good place in Ghana for you to collaborate, because we implement them in our national decentralized planning system in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think this conference has centered obviously mainly on the diaspora, but we've talked a lot about reparative justice, and I think it's important to think of the diaspora returning home as reparative justice in itself, as well as extracting resources, which we talked about quite a lot. What happened during that period of time is our people were taken. Our people were taken out, and because of the imbalance in terms of resources again and colonialism, then people felt the need to have to travel abroad to study and to work and to earn more money. But as the world changes and as we're looking towards reparative justice, making it easier for the diaspora to return, to work and to collaborate should be considered reparative in itself. And just to point to what Lady Dota was saying in terms of the mindset, we do have a lot of work to do on both sides. A lot of work to do on both sides. The perceptions that we have of each other, even as welcoming as we are limiting us, quite frankly. There's a perception here or on the continent that everyone coming from the diaspora is rich, mainly because they brought a ticket and things like that. But I want you to all know something. We live on credit. You guys own stuff here. skills deficit. And actually, on this continent, in this country, I see some of the finest minds in the world. There's just there are just very, very different systems. So we've got to rid ourselves of some of these ideas that we have with each other. And you know, when we do, I believe that the possibilities are endless, and the collaboration is just exactly the type of thing that will move this country, this continent further.
Thank you, Bill.
I think that we should always look at history and try to look at our connections. I always look at history sort of to study where I'm moving at in the future. And we have to understand specifically the connection that Ghana and African Americans have. And a lot of times is African Americans know it, but we haven't discussed it with Ghana. So it's a great Kwame Nkrumah traveling to Lincoln University. He went to Philly, he went to Harvard. And there was a seed implanted in his head of Pan-Africanism. He didn't get that from Ghana. He got that from interacting. Rabbi Cohen, I think you were around sometime. He got that from interacting, and it's different. And it changed his mind, be proud to be black. To come back and say, this continent has resources that we can build. He came back, became first president, as we know. But, and let me be clear, that helped Ghana gain its independence. That seed that was planted. But as we switch to America, when he gave his inauguration speech, there's a man by the name of Dr. Martin Luther King who was on the stage. And as the civil rights movement was moving on, he was starting to get weird. He didn't know if he would achieve his dream. It was a lot. And I can only imagine sitting there and watching all these Ghanaians relieve themselves of the chains of colonialism. We're free to be seeing this. It motivated. It says you can study this to write I Have a Dream speech, because he's seeing freedom. He's seeing freedom from millions of Ghanaians. So let me be clear, that also influenced African Americans in America. So we have to understand how we're linked. So now we're coming home. It's not just because we're coming home. We're coming home because we have a feeling it was already built. It was built by Ambassador Ben. It was built by, I think, Rabbi Cohen built. Things that we built. So now I'm saying let's prepare for us, because we're coming home. There's no doubt about it. We're going to figure this out. So
I guess that we can have a discussion.
So much. And through the Diaspora section, you will hear from returnees who have new platforms in Ghana, and from agencies who will help you and guide you step by step. Housing documentation, permits, immigration issues, land questions, schools, and business registrations. Come with your questions. Every single one of your questions will be answered on the day. Your homecoming starts here. Get your tickets online now. Limited spaces available. Thank her panelists. Fantastic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of our next panel, it gives me great pleasure to spend the next 10 minutes hearing from Integration Initiatives for West Africa, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security. And minutes will be joined by Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, while we wait in readiness, please take a look at this video. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding as we're joined by Her Excellency, the Vice President. She is aptly flanked by some distinguished, esteemed personalities. Our Minister, Deputy Minister are ushering our Vice President into the building. A round of applause for Her Excellency, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, here joining us to share the closing ceremony of the Diaspora Summit 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. We have had an outstanding 2 days here at the Diaspora.
Distinguished guests that are here. It's an honor to moderate the closing session of this very important conversation program that we've had for the past 2 days. This is going to be an intergenerational dialogue. We're going to speak from your heart and we're going to ask very tough questions. But please, in order that they don't feel intimidated, give me a smile. All of you, please. All right, Josh, you have pioneered STEM education. You have led establishment of robotics. You have challenged Ghana the same. Ghana 2050 is a country which is super productive. We want to have electric trains. We want to build our AI here. We want to manufacture our laptops and all things. How should we construct this vision with youth in it?
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I think I'd like to take us back to history. When you look at what we call the Industrial Revolution, we started with the first Industrial Revolution. This was at the era where we had to stop agriculture and hunting age to working in factories, because that's why steam engine was invented as a technology, and that drove the world. The country that developed that innovation led the world. From there, it moved to the second Industrial Revolution, which was powered by electricity on oil. And that generation also moved the whole economy in the global.
He said, once upon a time, he looked around the world to see if he could find a government of black people. He looked around. He could not find one. Marcus Garvey said he was going to create one, but he did not succeed. But today, the work of Rousseau, the work of Hamlet, the work of Marcus Garvey, the work of Wesley Effort, the work of these illustrious sons who have gone before us have come to a reality. Freedom! 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 May God bless you.
Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana J. Noboko Ajiman, senior government officials, presidential special envoys, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, CEOs, let me single out KOD, the presidential advisor, the Diaspora, members of the diplomatic corps, heads of international organizations. I see our ECOWAS Commissioner for Peace and Security, Ambassador Fatau, the embassy of all Africans in the diaspora, headquartered here in Accra, led by Ambassador Bennett, family members. We have had an outstanding Diaspora Summit, and I believe you all deserve a round of applause for your contributions in making it successful. It has been an incredible 2 days of reuniting, of reconnecting, and of strengthening our family. This is not a goodbye. We are only taking a momentary break. And I know that the task that we have all committed to, we are going to join forces and work towards achieving those tasks. I want to take a moment to celebrate our special guest of honor, the first female Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. We must celebrate her because long before Ghana decided to convene the Diaspora Summit right from the era of Panafist, she as a student decided that her area of research, her contribution to the advance that will allow for our family members to return home. And so I am so proud that more than 30 years of academic work, today she sits at the office of the President as Vice President and is able to guide us, is able to lead us, is able to make the necessary policy interventions needed for us to achieve our objectives. Professor Nana J. is certainly a blessing to this whole Pan-African movement. We salute her, we celebrate her. So if our family members in the diaspora had any doubt about having somebody high up at the decision-making table who will advocate for you and who will make sure that we carry out policy interventions that are in your interest, I hope by now all of that doubt has been cleared, because you have in Professor Nana Jelopokwajiman, an advocate extraordinaire, who is an authority, who knows the subject matter, and who does not need any convincing. So it is really an honor for us as a country to have her sitting right at the presidency next to President Mahama. And I'm sure you can now begin to appreciate why Ghana is doing so well when it comes to reconnecting with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Over the last 2 days, we have all decided that we are going to ramp up all effort to ensure that the reparatory justice agenda is an agenda that does not falter, an agenda that does not fail, an agenda that succeeds. And we is not seeking to undermine our cordial relations. We will maintain friendly and cordial relations with all our international partners. That has to be emphasized. We are not at war. Let's look at it this way. The same war, we are not starting a fight. We do not intend to undermine our friendly and cordial relations. We rather seek to enhance that, because it is they who brought us Christianity and they who taught us that you are in better standing when you seek forgiveness. And you are always in better standing and have a higher chance of making it to heaven when you restitute. Restitution is a Christian doctrine. So we all want to make heaven. We all want to go to heaven together. Let's obey our debts. Let's seek forgiveness. Let's do restitution. Let's return what does not belong to us, and let's all go to heaven. Same doctrines, same principles. It should not undermine our relations at all. I also want to and we have discussed at management and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that we are going to have a special dispensation for Africans in the diaspora, so that you will not have to make the same payments as others will make. And indeed, in our discussions, we are going to make sure that there will be a certain reciprocity when it comes to those visa convenience. The President has also instructed that efforts should be accelerated so that we can have back in the skies Ghana Airways. Just imagine the thousands of you who attended this Diaspora Summit. Imagine if all of those tickets you bought, that money was an investment in the Ghanaian economy and not in the other countries, largely in cosmopolitan Europe, where those ticket resources are going to, those revenues are going to. Just imagine. And imagine how we'll even have had the ability, if we had our own airlines, to even say that those attending the Diaspora Summit, just as we made visas free for those attending the Diaspora Summit, we could have had even a discount, a good discount for our fellow brothers and sisters attending the Diaspora Summit. If we had our own airline, we could have done that. So I am happy that the technical committee the President set up is nearing the conclusion of its work. And I am so proud that we work under President Mahama and Vice President Nana Akufo-Addo, passionate Pan-Africanists who want to restore our image, our pride, and who want to see that the Black Star flies in the skies again. It's also about our pride. It is also about demonstrating, as the Osage Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, that the black man is capable. We are capable of managing our own affairs. We are capable of making sure that we develop our country in a way that it should be developed. As I conclude, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am also proud to stress that in these last 2 days, as we have discussed reparatory justice, we have reminded ourselves, and it came up in the youth discussion a while ago, that we are not going to sit idle. We are not going to distort our development trajectory because we are waiting for reparations. The two are not mutually exclusive. We are going to stay focused on the economic transformation which President Mahama has been spearheading. And we are going to make sure that with our limited resources here, we use them judiciously, prudently, eschewing avarice, corruption, and wastage, and investing in the young people of our country to make sure that the development that our country needs is secure. And so let us not be mistaken, and nobody should distort our quest and our agenda. Yes, we seek justice, we seek closure, we want healing. Nobody stopped the Jews from demanding healing, and we support compensation for the Jews, reparation for the Jews. The Holocaust has to be condemned and will always be condemned. And Ghana renews its condemnation of the Holocaust. We condemn the genocide that happened in Namibia, and we support our brothers and sisters in Namibia in their ongoing negotiations with the Germans. And I'm happy that the chair of the Namibian Genocide Commission reported yesterday that they have been able to agree on some $1.3 billion compensation with the Germans. Ghana endorses those negotiations. But it is important to stress that all of these discussions will not retard the vision, the passion that we have for the development of our country. With or without their reparation, we shall seek development, we will develop our country, we will create opportunities for our people, and we will make sure that we get that transformation with the founding father of Dr. Vymton Vymtunz and all his contemporaries suffered. We remain committed to that cause. And I am so proud that we have in President Mahama and Vice President Professor Nana Jolo, two leaders who are so committed to the advancement of our country, the development of our continent. And as Africa Union champion reparations, Ghana will not fail the continent. But even as we seek reparations, we remain focused on our own development vision for the people we serve. On that note, let me thank the planning committee for putting together a very successful 2025 Diaspora Summit. We are going to have a briefing session. A round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. Right after today's closing ceremony, we will meet, and immediately the recommendations, the action points, we will get to work. Because follow-ups are so important. So planning committee and staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, staff of the Diaspora Department and the Presidency, don't think your work is done. The actual work is now beginning. And I just want to serve notice. I'm a product of Professor Nana Jolo, and she taught me follow-ups. She says it's always more important than what you do at the beginning. That is what will determine our success. So we are going to get to work and follow up on the recommendations which the Rapporteur General read a while ago. And we'll start immediately working towards the Diaspora Summit of 2026. And we'll make sure that 2026 will even be bigger and brighter and better than 2025 was. I also want to thank all our sponsors. We had tremendous support from the corporate Ghana, the private sector, and other state institutions. And so even though you will not see a budget line, or you will not see that money was taken from the national coffers, you have seen that we've been able to finance these summit and all of its commitments because of our sponsorship drive that we carried out. So we thank all our sponsors. I know that the sponsors will be projected, so that in the interest of time, I don't have to list all the sponsors. But you know, from the depth of our heart, that we are very, very grateful to all of you. They are our sponsors. We thank all of you for making the 2025 Diaspora Summit possible. A round of applause. And we thank all of you for attending this summit. We have only expanded our family. We now consider you part of our family. So let's exchange contacts, let's be nice to each other, and let's do the family introductions. Let us invite them home, let us help them to integrate, and let us know that these are truly our brothers and sisters, and that when we say we want them to return, there is no other motive. We just want to reconnect. We see the diaspora as our 17th region in Ghana, and in Africa, they are our 6th region. And it's a genuine effort at reuniting. We are not interested in anybody's material wealth. It is really about coming together as family to develop our country as a family, as one people, and having that healing, that closure, which we all deserve. So we thank you very, very much, and we look forward to the keynote address. God bless you all for attending this 2025 summit. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government, led by President Mahama, is eternally indebted to you. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, we thank you so much for your passion, for your energy, and also for your leadership. And now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine a Pan-African cultural brand that puts you. Ladies and gentlemen, a resounding round of applause.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Can I address everyone as a colleague and a friend? Is that okay? Colleagues and friends then. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know it's been a long day. I'll try to be very short. On behalf of His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, I'm very pleased to join you at the closing of the Diaspora Summit 2025. This summit is significant for many reasons. An important reason is that it is taking place at a time when Ghana has chosen to place history, justice. President Mahama's role as the African Union's champion for reparations transcends the symbolic. It is a deliberate commitment to advancing the dignity, memory, and material claims of Africans and peoples of African descent worldwide. Ghana intends to remain a serious home for that work. And Sam, thanks for the kind introduction. And to our young people, that was fine rendition, and I accept all your recommendations so that we can work together to realize your fine submissions. Over the past 2 days, this summit has invited reflection on the past and exchange of ideas for a promising future and the renewal of our sense of shared responsibility. Complex histories have been confronted, ideas have been tested, have no doubt, and the meaningful partnerships between Ghana and her diaspora has been clarified in practice. The conversations have been confirmed, and they have confirmed that reparations are not just an abstract moral issue, but a political, economic, and historical one that requires structure, persistence, and credible leadership. To our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, thank you very much. Your contributions to Ghana are neither marginal nor episodic. Through remittances, skills transfer, investment, advocacy, and cultural preservation, you continue to influence this country's path. The idea of the diaspora as Ghana's 17th region is more than a slogan. It is a recognition of your place in our national life. And as you have realized already, this summit has also reaffirmed that resetting Ghana requires partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, government is committed to strengthening diaspora-friendly policies and expanding clear pathways for your return, investment, and collaboration. Initiatives including the Ejumawura program, Nkoko Nkete, Feed Ghana, and the 24-hour economy policy are designed to create real entry points for participation. We know that a strong partnership is not built solely on words. It is created by conditions. Under the Reset Ghana agenda, the groundwork for stability and growth is being rebuilt. Inflation has sharply reduced. The Ghana cedi is stabilizing. Reserves have strengthened, and confidence is returning. You are not happy that this is happening. Colleagues and friends, these are not end points. They are the baseline conditions needed for serious engagement by investors, innovators, and partners, both at home and abroad. We are counting on everyone to solidify the progress we have made so far and to do much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, I began by stating that this gathering is significant in many ways. Please allow me to conclude my brief remarks on a personal note. In an earlier chapter of my academic life, I spent many years researching the transatlantic slave trade and its links to our societies, cultures, and global order. I was particularly interested in our cultural memory, especially regarding the resistance to enslavement. That work confronted me with the scale of historical violence, the resilience of our collective memory, and our own sense of identity today. Much of what I learned over the years has been expressed throughout this conference. I was the program. And that tells us that the past is not just a closed chapter of history. That meaningful engagement with these legacies requires us to do more than remember. And that economically, socially, and psychologically, there is a lot we can do to build each other up. Our partnerships call for honesty, accountability, and ongoing action. In that sense, at this summit, we have not just
This is Martin Road. I have your key, please. Mitsubishi, car owner with a key. 1060 65 row, I have your key, please. Please come to me, pick up your key, please. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time.